The Success Principles. How to Get From Where You Are to Where You Want to Be by author Jack Canfield. Introduction. The principles always work if you work the principles. All of these same results are also possible for you. I know for a fact that you, too, can attain unimagined levels of success. Why? Because the principles and techniques always work. All you have to do is put them to work for you. A few years ago, I was on a television show in Dallas, Texas. I had made the claim that if people would use the principles I was teaching, they could double their income and double their time off in less than 2 years. The woman interviewing me was highly skeptical. I told her that if she used the principles and techniques for 2 years and she didn't double her income and double her time off, I would come back on her show and write her a check for $1,000. If they did work, she had to ask me back and tell her viewer the principles had worked. A short 9 months later, I ran into her at the National Speakers Association convention in Orlando, Florida. She told me that not only had she already doubled her income but she had also moved to a bigger station with a substantial pay increase, had started a public speaking career, and had already finished and sold a book, all in just 9 months. The fact is that anyone can consistently produce these kinds of results on a regular basis. All you have to do is decide what it is you want, believe you deserve it, and practice the success principles in this book. The fundamentals are the same for all people in all professions. Even if you're currently unemployed, it doesn't matter if your goals are to be the top salesperson in your company, become a leading architect, get all A's in school, lose weight, buy your dream home, or become a world-class professional athlete, a rock star, an award-winning journalist, a multimillionaire, or a successful entrepreneur. The principles and strategies are the same. And if you learn them, assimilate them, and apply them with discipline every day, they will transform your life beyond your wildest dreams. You can't hire someone else to do your push-ups for you. As motivational philosopher Jim Rohn has so aptly put it, you can't hire someone else to do your push-ups for you. You must do them yourself if you are to get any value out of them. Whether it is exercising, stretching, meditating, reading, studying, learning a new language, creating a mastermind group, setting measurable goals, visualizing success, repeating affirmations, or practicing a new skill, you are going to have to do it. No one else can do these things for you. I will give you the road map, but you will have to drive the car. I will teach you the principles, but you will have to apply them. If you choose to put in the effort, I promise you the rewards will be well worth it. Chapter 1. Principle 1. Take 100% responsibility for your life. You must take personal responsibility. You cannot change the circumstances, the seasons, or the wind, but you can change yourself. One of the most pervasive myths in the American culture today is that we are entitled to a great life, that somehow, somewhere, someone, certainly not us, is responsible for filling our lives with continual happiness, exciting career options, nurturing family time, and blissful personal relationships simply because we exist. But the real truth, and the one lesson this whole book is based on, is that there is only one person responsible for the quality of the life you live. That person is you. If you want to be successful, you have to take 100% responsibility for everything that you experience in your life. This includes the level of your achievements, the results you produce, the quality of your relationships, the state of your health and physical fitness, your income, your debts, your feelings, everything. This is not easy. In fact, most of us have been conditioned to blame something outside of ourselves for the parts of our life we don't like. We blame our parents, our bosses, our friends, the media, our co-workers, our clients, our spouse, the weather, the economy, our astrological chart, our lack of money, anyone or anything we can pin the blame on. We never want to look at where the real problem is. Ourselves. There is a wonderful story told about a man who is out walking one night and comes upon another man down on his knees looking for something under a street lamp. The passerby inquires as to what the other man is looking for. He answers that he is looking for his lost key. The passerby offers to help and gets down on his knees and helps him search for the key. After an hour of fruitless searching, he says, "We've looked everywhere for it and we haven't found it. Are you sure that you lost it here?" The other man replies, "No, I lost it in my house. But there is more light out here under the street lamp. It is time to stop looking outside yourself for the answers to why you haven't created the life and results you want. For it is you who creates the quality of the life you led and the results you produce. You, no one else. To achieve major success in life, to achieve those things that are most important to you, you must assume 100% responsibility for your life. Nothing less will do. 100% responsibility for everything, as I mentioned in the introduction. Back in 1969, only 1 year out of graduate school, I had the good fortune to work for W. Clement Stone. He was a self-made multimillionaire worth $600 million at the time. And that was long before all the dot-com millionaires came along in the 90s. Stone was also America's premier success guru. He was the publisher of Success magazine, author of The Success System That Never Fails, and co-author with Napoleon Hill of Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude. When I was completing my first week's orientation, Mr. Stone asked me if I took 100% responsibility for my life. "I think so," I responded. "This is a yes or no question. Young man, you either do or you don't." "Well, I guess I'm not sure. Have you ever blamed anyone for any circumstance in your life? Have you ever complained about anything?" Yeah, I guess I have." "Don't guess. Think." "Yes, I have." "Okay, then. That means you don't take 100% responsibility for your life." Taking 100% responsibility means you acknowledge that you create everything that happens to you. It means you understand that you are the cause of all of your experience. If you want to be really successful, and I know you do, then you will have to give up blaming and complaining and take total responsibility for your life. That means all your results, both your successes and your failures. That is the prerequisite for creating a life of success. It is only by acknowledging that you have created everything up until now that you can take charge of creating the future you want. You see, Jack, if you realize that you have created your current conditions, then you can uncreate them and recreate them at will. Do you understand that? Yes, sir, I do. Are you willing to take 100% responsibility for your life? Yes, sir, I am. And I did. You have to give up all your excuses. 99% of all failures come from people who have a habit of making excuses. If you want to create the life of your dreams, then you are going to have to take 100% responsibility for your life as well. That means giving up all your excuses, all your victim stories, all the reasons why you can't and why you haven't up until now. And all your blaming of outside circumstances. You have to give them all up forever. You have to take the position that you have always had the power to make it different. To get it right. To produce the desired result. For whatever reason, ignorance, lack of awareness, fear, needing to be right, the need to feel safe. You chose not to exercise that power. Who knows why? It doesn't matter. The past is the past. All that matters now is that from this point forward you choose. That's right. It's a choice. You choose to act as if. That's all that's required. To act as if. You are 100% responsible for everything that does or doesn't happen to you. If something doesn't turn out as planned, you will ask yourself, how did I create that? What was I thinking? What were my beliefs? What did I say or not say? What did I do or not do to create that result? How did I get the other person to act that way? What do I need to do differently next time to get the result I want? Quote. A few years after I met Mr. Stone, Dr. Robert Resnick, a psychotherapist in Los Angeles, taught me a very simple but very important formula that made this idea of 100% responsibility even clearer to me. The formula is A plus R equals O. Event plus response equals outcome. The basic idea is that every outcome you experience in life, whether it is success or failure, wealth or poverty, health or illness, intimacy or estrangement, joy or frustration, is the result of how you have responded to an earlier event or events in your life. If you don't like the outcomes you are currently getting, there are two basic choices you can make. 1. You can blame the event A for your lack of results. O. In other words, you can blame the economy, the weather, the lack of money, your lack of education, racism, gender bias, the current administration in Washington, your wife or husband, your boss's attitude, the lack of support, the political climate, the system or lack of systems, and so on. If you're a golfer, you've probably even blamed your clubs and the course you played on. No doubt all these factors do exist. But if they were the deciding factor, nobody would ever succeed. Jackie Robinson would never have played Major League Baseball. Sidney Poitier and Denzel Washington would have never become movie stars. Dianne Feinstein and Barbara Boxer would never have become U.S. senators. Erin Brockovich would never have uncovered PG&E's contamination of the water in Hinckley, California. Bill Gates would never have founded Microsoft. And Steve Jobs would never have started Apple Computers. For every reason why it's not possible, there are hundreds of people who have faced the same circumstances and succeeded. Lots of people overcome these so-called limiting factors. So it can't be the limiting factors that limit you. It is not the external conditions and circumstances that stop you. It is you. We stop ourselves. We think limiting thoughts and engage in self-defeating behaviors. We defend our self-destructive habits, such as drinking and smoking, with indefensible logic. We ignore useful feedback, fail to continuously educate ourselves and learn new skills, waste time on the trivial aspects of our lives, engage in idle gossip, eat unhealthy food, fail to exercise, spend more money than we make, fail to invest in our future, avoid necessary conflict, fail to tell the truth, don't ask for what we want, and then wonder why our lives don't work. But this, by the way, is what most people do. They place the blame for everything that isn't the way they want it on outside events and circumstances. They have an excuse for everything. 2. You can instead simply change your responses. R. To the events. A. The way things are. Until you get the outcomes. O. You want. You can change your thinking. Change your communication. Change the pictures you hold in your head. Your images of yourself and the world. And you can change your behavior. The things you do. That is all you really have any control over anyway. Unfortunately, most of us are so run by our habits that we never change our behavior. We get stuck in our conditioned responses. To our spouses and our children. To our colleagues at work. To our customers and our clients. To our students. And to the world at large. We are a bundle of conditioned reflexes that operate outside of our control. You have to regain control of your thoughts, your images, your dreams and daydreams, and your behavior. Everything you think, say, and do need to become intentional and aligned with your purpose, your values, and your goals. If you don't like your outcomes, change your responses. Let's look at some examples of how this works. Do you remember the Northridge earthquake in 1994? Well, I do. I lived through it in Los Angeles. 2 days later, I watched as CNN interviewed people commuting to work. The earthquake had damaged one of the main freeways leading into the city. Traffic was at a standstill. And what was normally a 1-hour drive had become a 2 or 3-hour drive. The CNN reporter knocked on the window of one of the cars stuck in traffic and asked the driver how he was doing. He responded angrily, "I hate California. First there were fires, then floods, and now an earthquake. No matter what time I leave in the morning, I'm going to be late for work. I can't believe it." Then the reporter knocked on the window of the car behind him and asked the second driver the same question. This driver was all smiles. He replied, "It's no problem. I left my house at 5 a.m. I don't think under the circumstances my boss can ask for more than that. I have lots of music cassettes and my Spanish language tapes with me. I've got my cell phone. I have coffee in a thermos. My lunch. I even brought a book to read. So I'm fine." Now, if the earthquake or the traffic were really the deciding variables, then everyone should have been angry. But everyone wasn't. It was their individual response to the traffic that gave them their particular outcome. It was thinking negative thoughts or thinking positive thoughts. Leaving the house prepared or leaving the house unprepared that made the difference. It was all a matter of attitude and behavior that created their completely different experiences. We heard there's going to be a recession. We decided not to participate. A friend of mine owns a Lexus dealership in Southern California. When the Gulf War broke out, people stopped coming in to buy Lexuses or Lexi. For any fellow Harvard graduates and Latin students out there, they knew that if they didn't change their response R to the event A of nobody coming into the showroom, they were going to slowly go out of business. Their normal response R would have been to continue placing ads in the newspaper and on the radio. Then wait for people to come into the dealership. But that wasn't working. The outcome, they were getting was a steady decrease in sales. So they tried a number of new things. The one that worked was driving a fleet of new cars out to where the rich people were. The country clubs, marinas, polo grounds, parties in Beverly Hills and Westlake Village. And then inviting them to take a spin in a new Lexus. Now think about this. Have you ever test driven a new car and then got back into your old car? Remember that feeling of dissatisfaction you felt as you compared your old car to the new car you had just driven? Your old car was fine up until then. But suddenly you knew there was something better. And you wanted it. The same thing happened with these folks. After test driving the new car, a high percentage of the people bought or leased a new Lexus. The dealership had changed their response. R. To an unexpected event. A. The war. Until they got the outcome. O. They wanted increased sales. They actually ended up selling more cars per week than before the war broke out. Everything you experience today is the result of choices you have made in the past. Everything you experience in life, both internally and externally, is the result of how you have responded to a previous event. Event. You are given a $400 bonus. Response. You spend it on a night on the town. Outcome. You are broke. Event. You are given a $400 bonus. Response. You invest it in your mutual fund. Outcome. You have an increased net worth. You only have control over 3 things in your life: the thoughts you think, the images you visualize, and the actions you take. Your behavior, how you use these 3 things, determines everything you experience. If you don't like what you are producing and experiencing, you have to change your responses. Change your negative thoughts to positive ones. Change what you daydream about. Change your habits. Change what you read. Change your friends. Change how you talk. If you keep on doing what you've always done, you'll keep on getting what you've always got. 12-step programs such as Alcoholics Anonymous define insanity as continuing the same behavior and expecting a different result. It ain't gonna happen. If you are an alcoholic and you keep on drinking, your life is not going to get any better. Likewise, if you continue your current behaviors, your life is not going to get any better either. The day you change your responses is the day your life will begin to get better. If what you are currently doing would produce the more and better that you are seeking in life, the more and better would have already shown up. If you want something different, you are going to have to do something different. You have to give up. Blaming. All blame is a waste of time. No matter how much fault you find with another, and regardless of how much you blame him, it will not change you. Wayne Dyer, co-author of How to Get What You Really want. You will never become successful as long as you continue to blame someone or something else for your lack of success. If you are going to be a winner, you have to acknowledge the truth. It is you who took the actions, thought the thoughts, created the feelings, and made the choices that got you to where you now are. It was you. You are the one who ate the junk food. You are the one who didn't say no. You are the one who took the job. You are the one who stayed in the job. You are the one who chose to believe them. You are the one who ignored your intuition. You are the one who abandoned your dream. You are the one who bought it. You are the one who didn't take care of it. You are the one who decided you had to do it alone. You are the one who trusted him. You are the one who said yes to the dogs. In short, you thought the thoughts. You created the feelings. You made the choice. You said the words. And that's why you are where you are now. You have to give up. Complaining. The man who complains about the way the ball bounces is likely the one who dropped it. Lou Holtz, the only coach in NCAA history to lead 6 different college teams to postseason bowl games, and winner of a national championship and Coach of the Year. Honest, let's take a moment to really look at complaining. In order to complain about something or someone, you have to believe that something better exists. You have to have a reference point of something you prefer that you are not willing to take responsibility for creating. Let's look at that more closely. If you didn't believe there was something better possible, more money, a bigger house, a more fulfilling job, more fun, a more loving spouse, you couldn't complain. So you have this image of something better and you know you would prefer it. But you are unwilling to take the risks that would be required to create it. Think about this. People only complain about things they can do something about. We don't complain about the things we have no power over. Have you ever heard anyone complain about gravity? No, never. Have you ever seen an elderly person all bent over with age walking down the street complaining about gravity? Of course not. But why not? If it weren't for gravity, people wouldn't fall down the stairs. Planes wouldn't fall out of the sky. And we wouldn't break any dishes. But nobody complains about it. And the reason is because gravity just exists. There is nothing anyone can do about gravity. So we just accept it. We know that complaining will not change it. So we don't complain about it. In fact, because it just is, we use gravity to our advantage. We build aqueducts down mountainsides to carry water to us. And we use drains to take away our waste. Even more interesting is that we choose to play with gravity. To have fun with it. Almost every sport we play uses gravity. We ski, skydive, high jump, throw the discus and the javelin, and play basketball, baseball, and golf, all of which require gravity. The circumstances you complain about are, by their very nature, situations you can change, but you have chosen not to. You can get a better job, find a more loving partner, make more money, live in a nicer house, live in a better neighborhood, and eat healthier food. But all of these things would require you to change. If you refer to the list found earlier in this chapter, you could learn to cook healthier food, say no in the face of peer pressure, quit and find a better job, take the time to conduct due diligence, trust your own gut feelings, go back to school to pursue your dream, take better care of your possessions, reach out for help, ask others to assist you, take a self-development class, sell or give away the dogs. But why don't you simply do those things? It's because they involve risks. You run the risk of being unemployed, left alone, or ridiculed and judged by others. You run the risk of failure, confrontation, or being wrong. You run the risk of your mother, your neighbors, or your spouse disapproving of you. Making a change might take effort, money, and time. It might be uncomfortable, difficult, or confusing. And so, to avoid risking any of those uncomfortable feelings and experiences, you stay put and complain about it. As I stated before, complaining means you have a reference point for something better that you would prefer but that you are unwilling to take the risk of creating. Either accept that you are making the choice to stay where you are. Take responsibility for your choice. And stop complaining. Or, take the risk of creating your life exactly the way you want it. If you want to get from where you are to where you want to be, of course you're going to have to take that risk. So make the decision to stop complaining. To stop spending time with complainers. And get on with creating the life of your dreams. You're complaining to the wrong person. Have you ever noticed that people almost always complain to the wrong people? To people who can't do anything about their complaint? They go to work and complain about their spouse. Then they come home and complain to their spouse about the people at work. Why? Because it's easier. It's less risky. It takes courage to tell your spouse that you are not happy with the way things are at home. It takes courage to ask for a behavioral change. It also takes courage to ask your boss to plan better so that you don't end up working every weekend. But only your boss can do anything about that. Your spouse can't. Learn to replace complaining with making requests and taking action that will achieve your desired outcomes. That is what successful people do. That is what works. If you find yourself in a situation you don't like, either work to make it better or leave. Do something to change it or get the heck out. Agree to work on the relationship or get a divorce. Work to improve working conditions or find a new job. Either way, you will get a change. As the old adage says, don't just sit there and complain. Do something. And remember, it's up to you to make the change. To do something different. The world doesn't owe you anything. You have to create it. You either create or allow everything that happens to you to be powerful. You need to take the position that you create or allow everything that happens to you. By create, I mean that you directly cause something to happen by your actions or inactions. If you walk up to a man in a bar who is bigger than you, has obviously been drinking for a long time, and say to him, "You are really ugly and stupid," and he jumps off the bar stool, hits you in the jaw, and you end up in the hospital. You created that. That's an easy to understand example. Here's one that may be harder to swallow. You work late every night. You come home tired and burned out. You eat dinner in a coma and then sit down in front of the television to watch a basketball game. You are too tired and stressed out to do anything else, like go for a walk or play with the kids. This goes on for years. Your wife asks you to talk to her. You say, later. 3 years later, you come home to an empty house and a note that she has left you and taken the kids. You created that one. 2. Other times, we simply allow things to happen to us by our inaction and our unwillingness to do what is necessary to create or maintain what we want. You didn't follow through on your threat to take away privileges if the kids didn't clean up after themselves. And now the house looks like a war zone. You didn't demand he join you in counseling or leave the first time he hit you. So now you're still getting hit. You didn't attend any sales and motivational seminars because you were too busy. And now the new kid just won the top sales award. You didn't take the time to take the dogs to obedience training. And now they're out of control. You didn't take time to maintain your car. And now you are sitting by the side of the road with your car broken down. You didn't go back to school. And now you are being passed over for a promotion. Realize that you are not the victim here. You stood passively by and let it happen. You didn't say anything. Make a demand. Make a request. Say no. Try something new. Or leave. Yellow alerts. Be aware that nothing ever just happens to you. Just like the yellow alerts in the old Star Trek television series. You almost always receive advance warnings in the form of telltale signs, comments from others, gut instinct, or intuition that alert you to the impending danger and give you time to prevent the unwanted outcome. You are getting yellow alerts all the time. There are external yellow alerts. He keeps coming home later and later with alcohol on his breath. The client's first check bounced. He screamed at his secretary. His mother warned you. Your friends told you. And there are internal yellow alerts. That feeling in your stomach, that inkling you had, that fleeting thought, that just maybe. That intuition, that fear that emerged, that dream that woke you up in the middle of the night. We have a whole language that informs us. Clues, inklings, suspicions, the handwriting on the wall. I had a feeling that I could see it coming for a mile. My gut feeling told me. These alerts give you time to change your response. R. In the A plus R equals O equation. However, too many people ignore the yellow alerts because paying attention to them would require them to do something that is uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable to confront your spouse about the cigarettes in the ashtray that have lipstick on them. It is uncomfortable to speak up in a staff meeting when you are the only one who feels that the proposed plan won't work. It is uncomfortable to tell someone you don't trust them. So you pretend not to see and not to know because it is easier, more convenient and less uncomfortable. Avoids confrontation, keeps the peace, and protects you from having to take risks. Life becomes much easier. Successful people, on the other hand, face facts squarely. They do the uncomfortable and take steps to create their desired outcomes. Successful people don't wait for disasters to occur and then blame something or someone else for their problems. Once you begin to respond quickly and decisively to signals and events as they occur, life becomes much easier. You start seeing improved outcomes both internally and externally. Old internal self-talk such as, I feel like a victim, I feel used, nothing ever seems to work out for me, is replaced with, I feel great, I am in control, I can make things happen. External outcomes such as, nobody ever comes to our store, we missed our quarterly goals, people are complaining that our new product doesn't work, are transformed into, we have more money in the bank, I lead the division in sales, our product is flying off the shelves. It's simple. The bottom line is that you are the one who is creating your life the way it is. The life you currently live is the result of all of your past thoughts and actions. You are in charge of your current thoughts and your present feelings. You are in charge of what you say and what you do. You are also in charge of what goes into your mind. The books and magazines you read, the movies and television shows you watch, and the people you hang out with. Every action is under your control. To be more successful, all you have to do is act in ways that produce more of what you want. That's it. It's that simple. Simple isn't necessarily easy, though this principle is simple. It is not necessarily easy to implement. It requires concentrated awareness, dedicated discipline, and a willingness to experiment and take risks. You have to be willing to pay attention to what you are doing and to the results you are producing. You have to ask yourself, your family, your friends, your colleagues, your managers, your teachers, your coaches, and your clients for feedback. Is what I'm doing working? Could I be doing it better? Is there something more I should be doing that I am not? Is there something I am doing that I should stop doing? How do you see me limiting myself? Don't be afraid to ask. Most people are afraid to ask for feedback about how they are doing because they are afraid of what they are going to hear. There is nothing to be afraid of. The truth is the truth. You are better off knowing the truth than not knowing it. And once you know, you can do something about it. You cannot improve your life, your relationships, your game, or your performance without feedback. Slow down and pay attention. Life will always give you feedback about the effects of your behavior if you will just pay attention. If your golf ball is always slicing to the right, if you're not making sales, if you're getting C's in all your college courses, if your children are mad at you, if your body is tired and weak, if your house is a mess, or if you're not happy, this is all feedback. It is telling you that something is wrong. This is the time to start paying attention to what is happening. Ask yourself, how am I creating or allowing this to happen? What am I doing that's working that I need to be doing more of? Should I do more practicing, meditating, delegating, trusting, listening, asking questions, keeping my eye on the ball, advertising, saying, I love you, controlling my carbohydrate intake? What am I doing that's not working? What do I need to be doing less of? Am I talking too much? Watching too much television? Spending too much money? Eating too much sugar? Drinking too much? Being late too often? Gossiping? Putting other people down? What am I not doing that I need to try on to see if it works? Do I need to listen more? Exercise? Get more sleep? Drink more water? Ask for help? Do more marketing? Read? Plan? Communicate? Delegate? Follow through? Hire a coach? Volunteer? Or be more appreciative? This book is full of proven success principles and techniques you can immediately put into practice in your life. You will have to suspend judgment, take a leap of faith, act as if they are true, and try them out. Only then will you have first-hand experience about their effectiveness for your life. You won't know if they work unless you give them a try. And here's the rub. No one else can do this for you. Only you can do it. But the formula is simple. Do more of what is working. Do less of what isn't. And try on new behaviors to see if they produce better results. Pay attention. Your results don't lie. The easiest, fastest, and best way to find out what is or isn't working is to pay attention to the results you are currently producing. You are either rich or you are not. You either command respect or you don't. You are either golfing par or you are not. You are either maintaining your ideal body weight or you are not. You are either happy or you are not. You either have what you want or you don't. It's that simple. Results don't lie. You have to give up the excuses and justifications and come to terms with the results you are producing. If you are under quota or overweight, all the great reasons in the world won't change that. The only thing that will change your results is to change your behavior. Prospect more. Get some sales training. Change your sales presentation. Change your diet. Consume fewer calories. And exercise more frequently. These are things that will make a difference. But you have to first be willing to look at the results you are producing. The only starting point that works is reality. So start paying attention to what is so. Look around at your life and the people in it. Are you and they happy? Is there balance, beauty, comfort, and ease? Do your systems work? Are you getting what you want? Is your net worth increasing? Are your grades satisfactory? Are you healthy, fit, and pain-free? Are you getting better in all areas of your life? If not, then something needs to happen. And only you can make it happen. Don't kid yourself. Be ruthlessly honest with yourself. Take your own inventory.